Hey there, Eric. Thanks for sending your swing in for the Golf Digest Challenge. My name is Mike Davis. I'm a teaching pro in Southern California. I'm just going to let your swing go in slow motion here, regular speed. And thanks for sending both angles in. That's very helpful as compared to having one. So let's see, you got a little practice area set up there with your mat and your net. Nice work. Um, must be a dedicated golfer. So um, judging by your comments, which there were none, I'm just going to have to make some generic observations. Hopefully some of this stuff will help you. Obviously you have your own camera. You're good at setting up the camera angles, and some of this stuff will help. And when I'm done, I might suggest that you go to, I would suggest going to the v1home.com website or pga.com and download the free version of the or the full version of the home version of the software which I'm using to teach. It'll enable you to draw your own lines and so forth. So starting with this, Eric, I'm going to start with the face-on view because that's the first one you provided. And all I'm going to do is just, to be very quick about it, I'm going to put a tour player next door to you, and so you can kind of see some comparisons, and we can have like things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, because your setup reminds me a lot of Appleby, I'm going to put him next door to you. I'm going to make this a little more like this, so you guys look much more similar to each other, and try to put you guys in similar positions. But first of all, let's start with the takeaway. Let's let this go in slow motion. And the first thing I notice right here, Eric, is in your takeaway, your lower body starts to get behind you. And what I mean by that is I think this leg here, your back leg, your right leg, straightening up a little bit, and it allows this hip to turn around quite a bit, and this knee is going to get closer to your back knee. As we advance the videos here, you look at Stuart Appleby on the right side. Get these guys to sync up together here. Take a look at the lower body on the right and the lower body on the left. So as these things go together, I'm going to highlight these areas, and this lower body of his is very, very stabilized, and yours is just a, it's just a little loose. I think you're diminishing your amount of coil, and potentially it could be a power leak. So I'm going to let this advance a bit further again. Stopped at the top of the swing. Now at this point, he's very tall. Pretty good top of the swing for you there. Pretty good. There's little tiny things that I look for, Eric, and that's why I use video so much. I've pointed out a few of them, but let me erase all these lines. I want you just to look really carefully at the head position here of Stuart Appleby and yourself. Okay, and I'm just going to draw a line right through the center from the back of his head down towards his nose here. You can see his head is still very centered on the ball. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to draw, obviously you can see the top of your head here. Your head's looking back a little bit. And sometimes, there could be a number of things. We'll check it out from the other angle. But the head weighs about 8, 9, 10 pounds depending on the person. And that's a lot of weight to have moving around on the top of your structure there. So we'll keep an eye on that. And on the way down, you can see very similar actions here, except for the lower body. Okay, the other thing I'm seeing, Eric, I'm just going to let this play backwards a little bit. This front foot here is your left foot. I would keep that very, very planted. I know that sometimes those mats are a little spongy and it gets a little sketchy, but let's see if that thing doesn't spin a little bit. Okay, on the way down, here you guys are together. You got a great lag angle. I'm at a disadvantage not knowing how much you play, practice, how many lessons you've taken, but at this point, you're getting to a point where you've released the angle of the golf club. And what I mean by that is basically don't have a lot of angle left in here, and we got a slight bend here. So you're in a position where you're about to scoop under the ball or add loft to the club or whatever terms you want to use. And I think that is another power leak where you don't get the effective loft of the club at impact, and that tends to, there we go. Now, the reason I can see that is that if you look at Stuart Appleby, very, very straight line here through impact. At this point, we definitely have an angle that's created here through your left arm and the wrist, and that tends to add loft to the golf club and maybe overspin it, and at times you start to lose distance that way. Nice full finish. Can't complain about that. Okay, so let's take a look at the other angle now, Eric. Let's advance this a bit further. Okay, so once again, I'm going to split the screen and use somebody next door to you on the line view. And I'll just use Tiger because it's a great guy to use. Okay, now as we put these into similar spots, hang on one second there, Eric, I gotta put a different version of your swing on that side. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this impact position so we can get you guys the same spot in your swing as close as possible. Okay, now the one big difference in these two videos that I see is that Tiger doesn't have a net in front of him. Just kidding. As far as posture angles, let's draw some lines here, and this is where I want to keep an eye on your right knee as you make your golf swing. So pretty passive setup. I'm good with your setup. Tiger has a little bit more forward bend or spine tilt, but basically you got similar looks with these stick figures. So pretty good setup there. I'm going to erase those, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw what we call the plane tool, and it's going to define the parameters of the swing plane. Now you can see that the wedge on your side is a bit narrower than Tiger's. That's because he's tilting over more and he's got a greater width of the plane there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a red line up the, pardon me, draw I'm going to draw a red line on the base of that cone. We're going to call that the base of the plane. And I'll do that for Tiger. Base of the plane red, top of the plane black. So the closer we swing to the black line, the more over the top, steep, kind of a cut swing we got. The closer to the red line is more of a draw inside path. So we'll let these two swings go together. I'm going to keep an eye on your right knee, and you keep an eye on his right knee. Okay, so we get to the top of the swing here. And not too bad. It's a little better than I thought it was going to be in the first angle. It does look like this right hip here is maybe rotated a little bit behind you. But let's see what's going on as far as the path goes. So here's the takeaway. You and Tiger. Very nice. I like your takeaway position. If I draw a circle around your hands here, if the club head's in there, it's great. Pretty darn close. Move Tiger to there. His is absolutely perfect. I mean, this is one of the best swings I've seen him make on film. So let's go to the top of the swing. Let's see where the club comes on the way down. So you're coming right back through that circle just as he is. You can see, or I can see, and you will too. I'm going to speed this up. I only got about 45 seconds left, but there's his shaft, and your shaft is what we would call laid off a little bit. And I just think you're just a little bit crammed in here at impact. You can see your hands are almost touching your thigh. Tiger's got space in there through impact. So what I would do is, you know, Eric, not sure how much you play, how much you practice, but I would say this. Try to get a little more spacing. Tilt over the ball a little bit more. You might start to take more divots than normal, but that would be a good thing. You're going to get better compression on the ball. Probably hit it a little bit further. Don't worry so much about keeping that left wrist straight if you are. Learn how to hit a draw, my man. It's going to make the world of difference for you. So good luck to you. Here's some contact info for me if you feel compelled to get a hold of me. Good luck to you.